Hi, if you guys don't know me, my name is Madeleine, and most of you probably do, but I've been coming to young adults for about a year and a half, and I just have this story that I wanted to share with you guys of just something I've been learning through with the story. And just if you don't know what I do, I'm a student, and just for the summer, I've been nannying full time. And yeah, so one day I was at the park with two of the kids that I nanny for, just for this summer. And this was on a Friday. I may mention this because I was quite tired and exhausted from the week. I had brought my book to the park in case there was any time to read it. We got to the park, and because the kids are old enough to play on their own, I sat down and I proceeded to read. As I looked around before, I started to notice the kids were great and that all the moms around me were sitting down just like me. And yeah, I just thought I would just sit and read for a bit. And then out of nowhere, for privacy's sake, we'll just call her Miss B. She's the 6-year-old girl I'm looking after for the summer, and she comes up to me and wants me to play tag. Honestly, at this moment, I so badly just want to sit down and read my book. But of course, I get up and I play with her. So then I accidentally run into a bench under the playground. It's like a square thing. I don't know how I ran into it. Anyway, I hit the front of my knee so hard. I'm in so much pain. It hurts so bad. I have to sit down and take a moment. While I am sitting, I look at Miss B and I tell her I need a little moment to recover. And while I say this, not to mention, I'm in a lot of pain, but then I realize this may be dramatic, but I'm literally dizzy and I feel like I'm gonna faint. But as I pull myself together and kind of, bear through it, Miss B looks at me and she says, "It's not fair. I want you to play with me. You have to play with me." And I take a moment. I'm a little shocked at her response, but I kindly tell her I can once I feel a little better. Miss B does not like that response and storms off by herself to play in the sand. So for a moment, I am filled with anger and frustration. But I quickly realize that Miss B is hurt in a way too. I swallow that feeling, and as I recover from my clumsiness, I go to comfort her. On the way home, I am biking behind the two kids, and I have a moment of realization. It kind of hits me, and I think to myself, wow, do I treat God this way, with this same impatience and neediness? And also, am I loving Miss B with the kind of love that God would? In that moment, I realized it shouldn't matter how angry and hurt I felt, because I was there to love and take care of this little girl, just like God is there for me. I also remembered that Jesus died on the cross for me in pain, and he did this because he loved me and you. I was taken back by my own sin and the amount of times that we hurt God on a daily basis. But even in that, he still continues to love us. I find it very comforting to know how deep God loves us and to know God's love, but even more important to understand it, to understand God's love enough to treat others the best we can with that same love. I was humbled by this lesson because not only was I in pain and felt like I deserved to be treated better, but because it was more of a lesson to teach me how to love Miss B better. And just like how this little girl wanted me to play tag with her, we often come to God with some other version of this. And when it doesn't go our way, we complain and say, "It's not fair." We can walk away and in anger, but God looks at us in love and says, "My child, I will play with you." Even when we hurt God and even when we don't acknowledge his pain, he still wants us. So I don't know about you, but when I can grasp God's love, even if it's for a moment like this, I am humbled to love others more. Romans 5:8, but God shows his love for us in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. I love this verse because it is a perfect representation of how God chooses to love us even when we are imperfect and sinful. And just this last point I have for you is that even if we will never fully understand the depths of God's love, it is so deep that it can open our eyes in the midst of pain to be loved and to love.